Nothing to lose. Alrighty. Let's get it going. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the brofict one, AJ. Happy Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Hope you've had a great day. We've got a lot to talk about today. The Giants have named a new QB1, but will it really change what happens? We've got a lot of news coming out of the college football world, a new AP poll, and a look at the madness that was this week. I mean, the witching hour this week in the NFL was absolutely insane, and I think we're ready for a lot more of it. But before I go any further, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube, X, and TikTok. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But I do want to go ahead and start one place, and that is going to be in the college football world. I'm going to get one more thing pulled up. And there we go. Alrighty. But it has been announced that today, breaking news coming out of the college football world, that Mike Gundy has been fired from Oklahoma. And yeah, I mean, 21st season head coach. He was a player, he was an assistant, and then eventually took over as a coach and a head coach. So Mike Gundy being let go, and from the reports, it was done very amicably. It was, kind of told him that, hey, we can let you go, or you can announce your retirement, and we'll let you go throughout the season. And he decided, no, I don't want to go without the season. Go ahead and do it now. Let's, if you think the team can win without me, let's go ahead, get a new voice in here and get this going. And I mean, needed for Oklahoma State, haven't played the best the last couple of years, 1-2 to start off the season. And we are in that season where, head coaches do get fired early in college football. And then it kind of calms down for a little bit and picks up at the end of the day. But it does feel like this type of a change was needed with Oklahoma State. And there's a couple other teams that it does seem like there's, what am I trying to look for? It does seem like there's a change of brewing, and that a change is going to be needed eventually. Now, where is, Oklahoma State going to go from here head coaching wise? I think they're going to wait until the offseason to really see what the head coaching cycle looks like and where heads are going to roll. Do expect it to be a relatively big name and someone that we know, but man, I mean, kind of end of an era. Mike Gundy done at Oklahoma State. And I don't think this is the last we'll be hearing from him. I don't think this is the last we're going to be hearing from Mike Gundy. Not to mention that he, is still relatively young when it comes to the head coaching world. And there's a couple of jobs that are open already that he might be interested in. One, UCLA does come to mind. Virginia Tech, I think, would be a better fit for him there. But he's getting up there. Maybe he wants to go and enjoy the California sun for a little bit, or maybe he wants to go and enjoy Enter Sandman. I wouldn't hate that either. But shout out to Mike Gundy. Hell of a career there at Oklahoma State. Cannot wait to see what he does next. I don't think this is the end of Mike Gundy's career, but shout out to Gundy. Other news coming out of the college football world, and does kind of leave a hole, I think, for this team, but I don't think in the long run it's going to be that big of a deal. That being Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer will undergo right hand surgery on Wednesday due to an injury he sustained against Auburn in that matchup. Whoopsies. There we go. Expectation is that he is going to return to action sometime this season. And I mean, looking at Oklahoma's schedule, they've got a bye week this week. They're going to Kent State. They're home against Kent State the week after, and then they're hosting Texas. So that being their next matchup, let's hope it's not a serious surgery or something that will, really affect Oklahoma and John Mateer, who's had an incredible season so far. And I think he's in the process of continuing to have a Heisman level type season. It's going to be a matter of how bad is that surgery and how bad, how does rehab go? Because rehab can go one of two ways. It can be a absolute fly and you can just go through it, no problems, or it's going to be setback after setback and going to be kind of a difficult thing to go through. But we will see what happens with John Mateer and follow that one closely. But I would imagine, if anything, he'll sit out that Kent State game and try to be ready for that Texas game coming up on the 12th, I believe. Yes, on the 12th. But that's the big news coming out of college football. We got a lot more to talk about in the NFL, and we will get to that in a moment. Let's go through the top 25 because we do have some changes, not a lot of changes, but some changes coming through the top 25. Ohio State still number one, even though they didn't play this week. Miami moving up 2 spots after a beautiful game against Florida and hosting game day. Penn State moving down a spot, didn't play this week. I don't really mind it. They wanted to make room. The AP has been trying to make Miami happen for so long. You know what I mean? The AP has really, for the last couple of years, been buying into Cristobal and buying into this program, and they're going to capitalize on it when they can. Am I bought into this Miami team as a top 5 team? Top 5, sure. Number 2, I'm not sure. And to be fair, we haven't really seen Penn State, Oregon play anybody, and I mean, this week is going to be a hell of a lot of fun when those two match up. And I cannot wait for it. Absolutely cannot wait for it. But anyway, I understand why Miami's number 2. Don't like that Miami's number 2. Penn State dropping 1, not worried about it. LSU dropping. I think that has more to do with the fact that Clemson win early doesn't look as good. And that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough on them. But going from there, Georgia and Oregon stay in the same place. Don't have any problem with that. Oregon's either going to really drop or really climb after that Penn State game this week. Oklahoma moving up 4 spots. I think it's well-deserved with the way they've been playing and their performance this weekend. Florida State moving down 1. I'm fine with that. What else we're working with? A&M moving up. They're a dangerous team. Texas moving down 2. I mean, I think it's time to have a real serious conversation about Arch Manning. I really do. I think it's time to have a serious conversation about Arch Manning. I'm to the point with Arch where there's still some scouts. Reports have come out. There's still some scouts that believe it could possibly be a first round talent and be a guy that can, do a lot of damage. But I think most circles are like, nah, this kid's going to need another year or is going to need some more development, and hasn't really been working well for Arch so far. I mean, looked good in his last game, but again, it's Sam Houston. Like, what are you really going to do with the information from the Sam Houston game? So that's my thing there. Indiana moving up 8 spots, well-deserved. I mean, the way they absolutely handled Illinois, and I mean absolutely handled Illinois, was a thing of beauty, seriously. Cignetti's got this team in his second year really going in the right direction, and it shows. And Sig is, I mean, they're just killing it. They are just killing it, and I absolutely love what Cignetti does with this team. Love how this offense is going. The defense seems untouchable. This is a very dangerous Indiana team yet again, and so excited to see what they're going to continue to do. Texas Tech moving up 5. Yeah, keep watching out for Texas Tech. This is a team that's ready to blow the roof off of college football. Very excited about Texas Tech. Ole Miss, I mean, I know there's something going on with Lane Kiffin's daughter and Auburn and LSU linebacker or something like that. I don't know. Not big on it, but crazy stuff going there. I'll get to fantasy questions in just a moment, y'all. Don't you worry about it. We will touch some fantasy football in a moment. Georgia Tech moving up 2. I think it's appropriate that they're being ranked in the top 20 now. It's been a little bit of a time coming, but they finally, I guess, have the data. Alabama, I get they didn't play this week, but a 2-1 Alabama team being 17 in the country is just a little embarrassing. I mean, it just makes it seem like we are trying to hold Alabama up as much as we possibly can, and they don't have the play right now to back it up. They look sluggish. They don't look into the game. They look very tired, and they just don't look interested. It's like, okay, we made it to Alabama. We got our NIL. We're good to go. But they're not good to go. Vandy moving up 2. Look out for Vandy, man. Diego Pavia is on a mission. You know what I mean? He knows he plays in the SEC, but he doesn't give a damn that it's for Vanderbilt. He's ready to rock and roll. Absolutely love what is going on there with Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia. Michigan moving up 2 spots. I'm not upset with it. I think their quarterback, what's his name? Not Bryce Young. Bryce whatever. he looks better when they open up the playbook a little bit more for him and let him do, get going in the run game. And I think they need to keep going down that route and let him do what they're paying him all that money to do. Mizzou and USC moving up 3 and 4 spots, respectively. This is one of the best USC teams we've seen in a long time. This Mizzou team I'm sold on as being in a top 25 position, but just I don't know if they're going to have the longevity to get through here. It feels like I've been here, done that with Mizzou, and I'm just waiting to get hurt again. But we'll get to waiting to get hurt again in a moment because Bears fans, y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. But Notre Dame moving up 2 spots. 1 and 2 Notre Dame. They've had hard competition. They need to start winning a lot more football games in a very convincing fashion. Have no problem with Illinois dropping 14 spots after that loss to Indiana. TCU, BYU, welcome to the program. And I got to be honest, this TCU team, these Hypno-Toads, very solid. Very, very solid football team. Not that they remind me a lot of that national championship team. That gives me a little bit different of a vibe, but good eye test. I love what TCU is doing, and BYU being able to do it without the BYU. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. Utah and Auburn dropped from the rankings this week. Others receiving votes. Auburn still receiving a lot of votes. Mississippi State still receiving a lot of votes. USF still receiving some fair amount of votes, and Arizona State as well. TCU and Arizona State going at it. TCU visiting Tempe should be a hell of a matchup, and one I'm very excited for. I ain't gonna lie. I'm excited for it. All right. Let's go ahead. It was an exciting week in college football. I'm much more excited for this weekend slate in college football and think it's going to be epic. I do think it's going to be epic, but let's go ahead and move to the NFL and what we're really here for, because it finally happened, folks. It finally happened. The Russell Wilson experience in New York seems to be over for the time being, as it has been announced officially that Jackson Dart will be the starting quarterback, for the Giants moving forward. This being after, Russell Wilson having a pretty sluggish game 1, looking like his own self in game 2, and then another grind him out, mistake-filled game against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football this week. Chiefs winning that game 22-9. Russell Wilson 18 for 32, 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 43.8. And listen, I've been on the mountaintop. I've been ahead of this for the last 5 years, and I really have no problem tooting my own horn when it comes to this. Russell Wilson was washed when his last couple of years in Seattle. Russell Wilson was washed in Denver. Russell Wilson was washed with the Steelers, and now we're trying to make Russell Wilson happen. And it doesn't make any sense to me why we're trying to make Russell Wilson happen. And I get it. You know what I mean? He is his QB, his football IQ is unreal. Good leadership. I'm not trying to dog the guy, but there comes a time, when you're told that you're not allowed to play the kid's game anymore. And that time needs to come for Russell Wilson sooner rather than later. And, he wants to go and travel around and be backups on different teams and not give up the dream yet. That's fine. But we need to stop trying to sell these fan bases on the fact that, we got Russell Wilson, we're good to go. Because you're not good to go. Yes, he will, win. He'll win a QB battle. There's no doubt about it. In training camp with those conditions, he can go in and beat almost any quarterback out there in a QB battle, especially a rookie. But at the end of the day, the time has come. Russell Wilson is done, and we need to close the NFL chapter on Russell Wilson. We do. And, we got Jackson Dart coming in. What do we expect from Jackson Dart? What have we seen from him, really? Not a lot. They put him in a couple of, running packages here and there. That's nothing impressive. It's just like, hey, we know we have Jackson Dart. We're trying to use Jackson Dart. We're putting him into packages and stuff, but we're just not ready to pull the trigger on it. We want to give him time to sit behind Russ. We want to give him time. And It fascinates me, though, because you do have Jameis Winston sitting right there. Why? They must not like what they're seeing in practice or anything like that to throw Jameis Winston out there, because you can throw Jameis out there and you can at least get another 2 weeks, 3 weeks out of him. If we're being honest, you can get another 2-3 weeks out of Jameis before having to go to the Rook. But they didn't want to do that. They've listened to their fans, they've listened to everybody, and they want to see Jackson Dart out on that football field. And I don't blame Giants fans, though. I don't blame Giants fans. Giants fans, they want to get some hope back. They want to feel some hope. They want to know that, this isn't just another wasted season of, watching Cam Scadaboo, who's starting to be, come almost a New York legend at this point with how he's running the football. That's scary half the time because he uses his head like a battering ram, and we just haven't seen that type of a runner in a long time. But absolutely love what Cam Scadaboo is doing over there. Malik Neighbors isn't a hell of a wide receiver. They've got everything starting to work for them. That defense isn't half bad. And, is it all quarterback play? Maybe. It seems to be that way with the Indianapolis Colts. Look at how Indiana Jones is playing right now. But, to put Jackson Dart in this situation and just assume that everything's about to be hunky-dory and everything's about to change, I think that's foolish. And it's fine. Like, I'm fine with having the hope. It's just, let's be a little bit realistic about what we're about to see. We're about to see a rookie quarterback go out there with not the best O-line in the league, a pretty rough O-line if you ask me. The fact that Russell Wilson was able to throw half the balls he could with that O-line shocks me to hell. But, you're dealing with that. Yes, he'll probably be able to really work with that run game with Scadaboo. I'm sure him and Neighbors will have a great connection, but I'm not going to put the wagon before the horse on this one. I'm not feeling that Jackson Dart's going to come in and absolutely change everything going on with that Giants organization, because I think it's a lot more deeper than just the personnel that's there. Brian Daboll seems to be coaching with his back against the wall now, along with a lot of that coaching staff. I wouldn't be surprised if the front office has also got their back against the wall a little bit with some of the moves that have happened, with allowing Saquon Barkley out of the building. And it just, I feel like there's a lot more with the Giants that needs to be fixed than just the quarterback position. Do I think the quarterback position is a good place to start? Absolutely. And Daboll is a solid enough coach, but again, it just kind of makes you question what's going on there. You got Daniel Jones now performing like an MVP candidate for the Indianapolis Colts and what's going on there. And then you got Jackson Dart on this side. Russell Wilson on the other side. And when Daniel Jones was there, he couldn't do shit either. So is it the coaching? Is it the personnel? What is going on with the Giants? And again, I don't think Russell Wilson is a good barometer of that. He has been falling off of a cliff performance-wise for the last 5 years. Since the year before he left the Seahawks was the first time I started to see real decline out of him. And it's really progressed from there. But, man, and I want Jackson Dart to do well. I do. I think he'll be really good for New York. I think him and Cam Scadaboo and Malik Neighbors are a triple threat team that you can not only build a franchise around, but get a fan base excited about again. It's hard to get excited about Giants football right now. And it has been hard to get excited about Giants football for a long time. They had that one freak season where Saquon Barkley ran for 1 billion yards and Daniel Jones looked like a MVP candidate that year too. Let's see if Jackson Dart can do it. Let's see if he can do it. Plus 1,200 offensive rookie of the year. So maybe that's a bet to take, but I don't know, man. And Mike Ibuka, Cam Ward actually might have that tied up. Cam Ward has been incredible. Cam Ward seriously has been absolutely incredible. And the stats might not show it. You know what I mean? His pass to completion ratio, not the best thing in the world, but you got to understand, his wide receivers are still trying to figure out how to catch footballs. And that's hard to get good stats with that going on. But I do just want to finish up on that Chiefs-Giants game real quick because, yes, the Chiefs go ahead and they get their first win of the year out. They're 1-2 now. It wasn't impressive. I mean, did they look better? Maybe, yeah. But against a Giants team that has been so not good, it's hard for me to really take a lot of, take a lot of stock in what occurred in this game. This was a shitty Monday Night Football game. Sunday Night Football game that really wish wouldn't have happened. But Patrick Mahomes, 22 for 37, 224 yards. Like, yeah, he's getting yards and stuff, and he's getting completions, but it's not looking good. It's not looking efficient. Everything looks difficult right now. Everything just looks difficult for the Chiefs, and like they can't get into a groove or get anything moving. And it's tough to watch. It's getting tough to watch. But going to be a little bit of a shorter show today. Noah's out sick today, so he's leaving me by myself. So I'm just going to give my brief takes on what I thought of the NFL this week. Last Thursday, Dolphins, Bills, what do you want me to say? This was everything we thought it was going to be. The Dolphins looked a little bit more confident, sure, but the Bills went ahead and put belt to ass in this one. And listen, something's got to change with Miami. Something's got to change with Miami. I don't know what needs to change, if Mike McDaniels needs to go, if Tua needs to go, if they just need to restructure that whole offense or whatever it is. But whatever's going on isn't working in Miami, and I think they would get rid of the head coaches before they get rid of, this very talented staff they had. And it looked like, Hill was getting involved and looked pretty good. 10 targets, 5 receptions isn't the best stat line. Waddle with 6 targets, 5 receptions, 39 yards. I mean, parts of the game works. It's just not enough of the game to work to make it matter or make it happen. And that defense is abysmal. I mean, seriously, that defense looks so freaking bad. Like, it's impressive how bad that defense looks. All right, let's have a conversation about Michael Penix. I'm ready to have that conversation. We got all hyped up over 3 games last season at the end of the year. We got all hyped up for 3 games for bro to go 18 and 36 for 172 yards and 2 interceptions. Are you shitting me? Kirk Cousins went back in the game. Kirk Cousins got a couple snaps. He went 5 for 7 for 29 yards. And, it was questionable to me. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins wasn't playing bad, in my opinion, last season. He was playing Kirk Cousins football. And when you don't have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison as your wideouts with a stacked backfield, yeah, Kirk Cousins football can look a little rough sometimes. You know what I mean? He's a game manager. He's not going to lose you the game, but he's not going to win you the game every time. I think Michael Penix has a lot more development that people are willing to admit or want to talk about. Is he a better option than Kirk Cousins? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, from the fact, like, if you've accepted the fact that you're 1-2 right now, you just got belt to ass by the Carolina Panthers, who've barely showed any life so far this season. Bryce Young, 16 for 24, 121 yards. Not an overly impressive campaign from him. Did run one in for a touchdown, so I'll give him that. So did Dowdle, but he only got 30 yards on the game. I mean, I really think, not that we were sold a bag of non-goods. Sagnick, thank you for the follow, brother. Appreciate you. Getting Herman and Kamara. It's fine. I like Herbert and Kamara a little bit more, I'll be honest. Sorry, got distracted there. But yeah, Michael Penix, I'm not out on the kid. I just am not going to put as much stock into this. I think the Falcons have really shown who they are. And again, yes, they couldn't get anything going on offense, but that defense couldn't stop the Panthers. That defense couldn't stop the Panthers and couldn't get it done. And so they really didn't give their offense a chance to make it happen. And Michael Penix, I mean, again, I think he's very talented. I like what he can do on his feet. I like how he can get out of the pocket and scramble around. But man, bro looks rough. Bro looks rough right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a benching at some point. All right. Packers Browns was absolutely wild. That was absolutely wild. Like, bro, Packers, how do you not score? How do you not score in the fourth quarter? I mean, seriously, bro. How do they not score in the fourth quarter? I mean, this was embarrassing from the Packers. Move on, go on to the next game. Overall, I'm not going to be concerned about it. I do think, this Browns defense is better than, we give them credit for. I think Joe Flacco is still elite. 21 for 36, 142 yards, one interception. But hey, they still get the job done, so not much to worry about there. They didn't need that many points at the end of the day. And am I worried about the Packers? No. Are they going to have games like this? Yes. But when they have games like this, it just makes the problems a little bit more evident. You know what I mean? Well, Jordan Love isn't the most accurate sometimes. Well, receivers aren't, running the routes the best time. That O-line sometimes gets stuffed up, and it can be rough. But, I mean, overall, I do still think the Packers are going to finish better than the Browns this year, but shows the Packers, may not be as dominant as we were all thinking at the beginning of the season. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they still look great. Flow Father, thank you for the follow, bro. But man's crazy. It's crazy. But we'll see if they can get anything, changed up. I hope they learn a lot from this game. All right, let's have another conversation. What do we think of Stroud, huh? What do we think of CJ Stroud? Is he legit? Did we just get excited because a rookie got out a really good first season? Or are we overreacting to the fact that, this Texans defense still isn't as strong as it once was? Or the fact that, that offensive line isn't that great and is putting CJ Stroud under a lot of pressure? You go back and watch the tape. It's not the worst tape you've seen. I also think Trevor Lawrence is taking somewhat of a step this season in the right direction. I think having Cohen down there is really helping him out like it did Baker in Tampa Bay. ETN is actually running the football half decently, 56 yards for a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence getting involved with the run game. Brian Thomas Jr., not his best game, 6 targets, 2 receptions, still dropping the ball a little bit. Strange having a good week. I mean, Jaguars team, they might be frisky, they might be feisty, they might be a little dangerous even. But man, I don't know. I don't know. The Texans, I got a lot of questions about the Texans still. Lots and lots of questions about the Texans. That is for sure. Keeping it moving, we got the Bengals and the Vikings. The Vikings win this one 48-10. All I got on this game is that the whole Browning thing was fun week 1, but yeah, give the Giants a call. Give them a 5th-round pick for Jameis Winston. I don't know if anyone should be surprised that, Carson Wentz all of a sudden was playing really well with Jay Jettas and with Jordan Mason and everyone, Aaron Jones, and with Kevin O'Connell being that guy there. I mean, bro's a dog. Bro is an absolute dog, and we'll get it anytime. So, and with Kevin O'Connell, he is the QB whisperer officially. Steelers, Patriots. Steelers get this one 21-14. Aaron Rodgers having a better game this one. 16 for 23, 139 yards. A lot of running, a lot of, this one felt like more of a Steelers game this season. Felt a lot more like a Steelers game that we're familiar with. Let's get this on the defensive side. Offense does enough. 21-14. Patriots didn't look bad. Drake May, 28 for 37 for 268 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, he had to throw a lot for just those 2 touchdowns, and that interception doesn't help whatsoever. But, man, I'm not losing faith in him. I'm just not buying all the way in right now. It's going to take him still a little bit, I believe, to a couple years still to finish that rebuild. Rams, Eagles, absolutely crazy ending here. Looked like the Rams had this one. And then a block field goal return later. And the Eagles go ahead and take this one. They're still undefeated, 3-0 on this one. And, listen, it's boring. It's not fun. It's not the best. But, hey, listen, the Eagles are playing winning football. They're going to grind it out. They are going to make you earn every point, and they're just going to be a little bit better at every aspect of the game, like they showed here today, being on the on the special team side. But this Rams team is clearly the best team right now in the NFC West. No ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Jets, Bucks. Bucks take this one, 29-27. Tyrod Taylor, 26 for 36, 197 yards. This Jets team sucks. They still suck. They look better with Justin Fields somehow, but Baker Mayfield and the Bucks an absolute dog. Bummer, Mike Evans is going to be injured for right now, but I mean, still, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. This Bucks team is going to keep it moving. 3-0 on the season, and I love them. I love them. Indianapolis Colts, what have I been saying? What have I been saying since the preseason? You give Indiana Jones a solid offensive line, a good run game, and a couple of weapons at wide receiver, you're going to be Jay chillin', and that is exactly what Daniel Jones is doing. 18 for 25, 228 yards, and Tutty running for 27 yards as well. Cam Ward, 23 for 38, 219 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Listen, Cam Ward's going to be a problem in this league. Let's just go ahead and get ahead of that one. Cam Ward is going to be a problem in this league when he gets some pieces around him. When he really gets some pieces around him, when Calvin Ridley cannot go 7 for 1. If Calvin Ridley doesn't go 7-1, this might be a different football game. And a couple of other games, it's been like that. Calvin Ridley doesn't go 7 for 1 or whatever. And all the other receivers seem to be doing their job. Okonokwa, 6 for 5 for 66 yards. Manor at 5 for 4 with 38 yards. Lockett 4 for 4 with 37 yards. Calvin Ridley 7-1 with 27 yards. I mean, bro, you're wide receiver 1 for a reason. Let's get it. Let's get it moving, bud. But love what the Colts are doing. Love how it's all rolling. Raiders, Commanders. Doesn't matter who the Commanders have at quarterback right now. Marcus Mariota, one of the better backups in the country right now. Could be starting if you really needed to, but this Commanders team also well built. And I mean, the Raiders are just bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, offense looked a little bit better. 19 for 29 for Geno for 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. Fixing up that interception game a little bit from the week before. But at the end of the day, this Commanders team looks good. The Raiders don't. And it doesn't really matter, I think, if Tom Brady is in the booth or calling a different game. I mean, this Raiders team still has to go out there and perform, and we haven't seen them perform at all this season. Broncos, Chargers. Oh, another second-year quarterback we need to have an honest conversation about. Bo Nix. I mean, seriously, 14 for 25, 153 yards, 1 touchdown. Brutal. He's just playing so brutal right now. I don't get it, man. Sean Payton seemed to have a tight leash on him last season, being a rookie quarterback, only letting him do so much. And then coming into this season, opening up that playbook a little bit, letting him throw downfield, letting him call audibles. It doesn't seem to be working out too well. Granted, they are playing a very solid Chargers team close, and so I will give them credit where credit's due. The Broncos defense looks a little bit better. I don't think the Chargers are ever going back to the run game again. Justin Herbert, 28 for 47, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And listen, I have Justin Herbert as my quarterback. I'm going to let him throw for as many yards as he wants to as well. As many yards as he wants. You want to throw for 300 yards tonight? Sure. You want to throw for 400 next week? Okay, sounds good, bud. We'll make that happen. I mean, Najee Harris popping his Achilles. Obviously not good. Hope he's, that recovery is going to take a while. So Amari and Hampton going to be getting the majority of the workload from here on out. And Davis going to be the second. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me, not Davis. Who is their secondary? I'll find it later. But yeah, so Omari and Hampton fantasy owners, you're lucky because they may not ran the football a lot, but they're about to start running this football a lot more. Saints Seahawks, belt to ass, 44-13. This is the game we've been waiting for the Saints to play, where we really see Spencer Rattler, the 28 for 39, and not a lot to show for it. Sam Darnold, not seeing any goes, 14 for 18, 218 yards. That was all she wrote, folks. Belt to ass, all I got on that one. This was the most confusing game of the weekend for me. I really thought that we were going to go ahead and get, Cowboys, Bears, Cowboys belt to ass, kind of a redemption game for the Cowboys. But the Cowboys somehow looked like the worst team in the NFL to the point where Joe Milton was getting reps. Early in the fourth, he went 3 for 5 for 41 yards. He's a dog. He could be a starter if he really wanted to. But I mean, listen, 19 for 28, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for Caleb Williams. I mean, congrats to the kid. He's had one good football game. Like, seriously, he's had one good football game. And everyone is losing their mind like, oh, pay your respects to Caleb Williams now. He's so good. You guys talking for so long. He just needed to get Ben Johnson in there and understand the system, yada, yada, yada. One football game he played. One football game. You want me to pick up Caleb Williams or Trey Tucker? Fuck it. Pick up Trey Tucker. Listen, Caleb Williams will get you points. Caleb Williams might keep it moving. But if there is one thing that I've seen with the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears is one of those teams where you really need to study the history of the team to understand what the future holds. Okay. Justin Fields had a game like this once a season, and everyone saw it was like, oh, look how good he is. Why would the Bears ever think about getting off of him? Yada, yada, yada. And then the next game, he goes and shits the bed. Who do the Bears play next week? Let's look at that real quick, huh? Who do the Bears play next week? Nope, that's week 3. We're in week 4 now. Come on, ESPN. Keep up with me. Who do the Bears play? Bears play the Raiders. Okay, fine. Caleb Williams might have one more good game this season against this Raiders team, but I'm not buying stock. I have been here, done that with all of this. Vanilla Gorilla, thank you for the follow, brother. And I got to say, I'm tired of it. And I'm not going to buy into it. And I don't think you should buy into it either. I don't think there's any reason that you should believe that this Bears team, that Caleb Williams is any different from his predecessors. I don't think there's any reason to. And again, maybe he'll have a good game next week. And then just wait. That talk is about to ramp up even more. Of, oh, well, look at what Caleb Johnson has done with Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson has done with Caleb Williams. He's incredible. He's the best head coach of all time. Quarterback whisper. Look at this Bears team. They're about to run the NFC North. Yada, yada, yada. And then we run into the Packers and get absolutely smacked. Or something like that. Something along those lines. But I'm not doing it. I'm not getting into the hype with Caleb Williams against a Cowboys team that has clearly given up. I mean, you want to talk about a team that just looks absolutely deflated and like they can't get shit moving. It's the Dallas Cowboys. And now with CeeDee Lamb possibly going on IR, I mean, talk about ripping the heart and soul out of that offense. They ripped the heart and soul out of the defense earlier this season when Jerry Jones decided to trade away Micah Parsons. And now injury has ripped the heart and soul out of that offense in CeeDee Lamb. What, George Pickens is about to be wide receiver 1? On what football team? On the Cowboys? That's going to be Dak Prescott's next guy? No shot, bro. No shot, man. And I will say, I do want to say this one thing. Shout out to the Cowboys fans. I will say, shout out to the Cowboys fans this year. I have not heard one time any Cowboys fans with sincerity behind it say that this was their year. I have not heard that one time. So I do want to throw out some respect to them there. That, if they did say it, it was very sarcastic and not to be taken seriously whatsoever. And so shout out to Cowboys fans for having some reality of what's going on and not being as delusional as Papa Jerry Jones. Because Grandpa may have lost it. And I hate to say that, but Grandpa may have lost it here. His kids need to sit him down. All right. Well, just fuck me, dude. Honestly. Honestly, bro, Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers going up against Mac Jones and a wide receivers offensive room that was absolutely decimated by injury. And not to mention the fact that the Cardinals defense was also decimated by injury the week before. Cardinals also suffering major injury in this game with James Conner due to have season ending surgery this week. 16-15, the final score. Our defense, I was expecting our defense to look flat. I was really expecting our defense to look flat, look bad, not having, a lot of our starters in there. I thought our defense played a very solid game and, did well against Mac Jones and this 49ers offense. Again, Mac Jones having to go 27 for 41, 284, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And I hate, this is a team sport. I really hate to place the blame on any one player on a team, but this one is fairly obvious to me. 6 for 344 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. First round draft pick for the Arizona Cardinals last year. Maserati Marv, as he would be called on the TV copy almost every single big noon kickoff. And I have not seen anything that resembles a Maserati that has to do with Marvin Harrison Jr. And maybe you're referring to a Maserati with the fact that, goes fast in a straight line and then has no handles whatsoever. And I mean no hands. Seriously, it's like Marvin Harrison Jr. has 2 cinder blocks attached to his hands when he's trying to catch footballs. And maybe he needs to do that to practice on the jugs machine or something. But, bro, we're in year 2. We're in year 2. You're a wide receiver. Wide receivers are supposed to come out of college and be ready to play. And if they're not 100% year 1, they're supposed to be damn near 100% year 2. And don't get me wrong, Kyler Murray is not the best quarterback in the league. I'm not delusional or anything like that. But, bro, when you're getting a lob ball tossed to you and it's going right through your hands and you're trying to catch it with your body, as a second-year pro, first-round draft pick, you're trying to catch a lob ball with your body and not catching it with your hands. There's issues there. There's a lot of issues there. And I don't know if the focus isn't there. I don't know if he's not putting in the extra work that he clearly needs to be put in. I know he's, put on weight and put on muscle and everything, which is great. And it shows when he's battling with DBs and stuff like that. But you need to catch the football. Step 1 is catching the football. So let's catch the football. And we're really going to need him to catch the football now with James Conner being out. Our wide receiver 1 right now is Trey McBride. If we're going to be completely honest, our wide receiver 1 is Trey McBride. Michael Wilson, I would say, is their solid 2. Greg Dortch, whenever he can get some. Dammy in the chat, do you hold on to Marvin? Listen, Dammy, I'm going to be honest with you right here. Okay, I might be overreacting a little bit as a Cardinals fan. I might be. But again, bro went 6 for 3 for 44 yards and no touchdowns. What do you think his value is? That's a better question. I don't think it's a lot of value. I think if someone's willing to give you a backup running back right now, you might be looking at that deal. And is it one of those things that, maybe some switch flips in a week or two? Maybe. Do I trust it? No, just because, and what hurts is I've seen him in person have a good game. That first game against the Rams, home opener for the Cardinals last season, he went, for whatever and 3 touchdowns. And he just never could recreate that ever again. He could never touch that ever again. Damien, I understand your issue. I would maybe look for another wide receiver too. Because the Cardinals schedule, the opening third was the easiest part of it. And now we're really getting into, we have the Seahawks on Thursday coming off of that big win. It's rough. Worthy, Johnson, and Kupp. And Worthy's injured right now. If he plays this week, he's going to be limited. I mean, listen, I'm not feeling good about the Cardinals, and I'm not feeling good about Marvin Harrison Jr. And, I feel pretty good about our special teams, feel pretty good about our defense. And Jay Follow, thank you for the follow, brother. But I'm not feeling good with the whole other offense part of this. You know what I mean? I'm just not feeling it. We already talked about Chiefs, Giants, Lions, Ravens. Hell of a football game yesterday. If you missed it, was live for it last night. We'll be live for at least one Monday Night Football game next week as well out of that doubleheader. So make sure you catch it on Rumble, YouTube, X, or TikTok. We'll be live for that. But, I mean, what a football game. That was so much fun last night. And that was such a nice, after that kind of snooze fest with Chiefs and the Giants, this was a nice, nice primetime game. Jared Goff, 20 for 28, 202, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, 21 for 27, 288 yards. Derrick Henry, 12 attempts for 50 yards, 1 touchdown, and a very costly interception at the end of the game. One that had him visibly frustrated on the bench, throwing his helmet, throwing himself on the bench, just couldn't believe it, inconsolable, and didn't take a snap the rest of the game. Charlie King, thank you for the follow. I'll get to Ridley in just a moment, I promise. But yeah, not great. I didn't love the trick play with having Derrick Henry throw the football. I wasn't a fan of that, but we might have had worries about that Lions team week 1, but I think the Lions over the last couple of weeks have shown us, like, nah, guys, don't worry about us. We're back. We just had one off game. We're here. We're here, guys. We're going to keep doing what we do. So I love it. I love it. But that's my analysis of everything that happened in week 3 of the NFL. Let's get to a couple of fantasy football questions for the last little bit here. And I'll start with you, Charlie. Thoughts on Ridley? Well, let me tell you what my thoughts on Calvin Ridley are, because I think Calvin Ridley is a real good gift right here. And the gift is that Cam Ward was a ready for NFL quarterback. He was a ready for NFL quarterback, and he has shown that he is ready for the NFL. His tape is undeniable. You can go back and watch. It's unbelievable to watch. You see a young quarterback who really understands what's going on. Now, Calvin Ridley also has another gift, and that gift is that he was born with 2 cinder blocks on the end of his hands to catch footballs with. Or at least he woke up one day this offseason, and that's how it happened. And, bro, I don't get it, man. Calvin Ridley's always been a solid wide receiver. I'm really hoping he can turn it around because, he's, 7-1 this weekend for 27 yards. Bro, he even catches half of those, and this might be a different football game. And so I really think that Calvin Ridley is Cam Ward is on the right path to be a great quarterback in this league. And it's going to be really up to Calvin Ridley if he wants to be that wide receiver for him. Kind of like how Tyreek was that wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes when he was younger. Can Calvin Ridley be that guy? I mean, I know he's older, but still, he has a lot of good football left in him. And it's disappointing to see where he's at right now. So overall, Ridley is not a guy I would start every week. Unless I really like the matchup, the corners matchup and the DB matchup. But is he a guy I would keep on my bench to kind of mess around with and see what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, he has a good week, and then maybe wait and see if he has another good week, or use him as trade bait from there if you can pick someone up on waivers. And so it's just kind of, that's just kind of where I'm at with that. And the whole Calvin Ridley experience. You know what I mean, brother? Robert Pearson, thank you for the follow, brother. What you got? Start 2. Johnson, Sutton, and Jalen Warren. I mean, early here, I'll be honest, I'm doing my full research after the show tonight for my full breakdown of all of our NFL games, picks, and fantasy football analysis. That'll be live on Rumble, YouTube, and X tomorrow. And then Sunday morning, I'll do my final fantasy sit and starts. But early, I'm liking Johnston. Early, if we're going to be honest. Thoughts on BTJ? What are your thoughts on BTJ? 6-2 for 55 yards. I mean, a little bit better than Calvin Ridley, at least. I don't know. That chemistry doesn't seem there to be with him and Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence playing a lot better this season, and I like where he's going, but I don't know. Another one of those, maybe wait and see for another week or two cases, but I don't know. All right, I like this question. Daniel Jones consistency in the future. It's, and then a bunch of letters. Thank you for the follow. But here's where I'm at with Daniel Jones, okay? What did Daniel Jones do a couple of years ago when he had a good wide receiving core, a solid wide receiving core, good tight end, great running back, and a good O-line? Oh, that's right. He got paid like he was going to be the franchise quarterback of the New York Football Giants. And what do the Colts have right now? They have a strong running back in Jonathan Taylor. They've got a great wide receiver in Michael Pittman Jr. They've got Tyler Warren at tight end. They have a solid offensive line and a defense that's humming right now. No, if there is one quarterback I'm not worried about consistency with that is playing well right now, it's Daniel Jones. I'm not worried about Daniel Jones right now. I don't think I'll ever be worried about Daniel Jones this season. He seems to be in a very good system, and watching his tape back, he isn't making the same mistakes that he was making with the Giants. Not to mention, he actually has time to drop back in the pocket, sit there and read the defense and find, the check down or whatever he needs to find. And so I think it's a much different situation. Ashton, that's a good one. Daniel Jones or Jaden Daniels. I would personally go with Daniel Jones. But personally, I'm a bigger fan of pocket-based quarterbacks. But fantasy football-wise, I'd probably stick with Jaden Daniels. If you have both of them on your rosters, then I think Daniel Jones sitting in while Jaden Daniels gets healthy is not going to be a bad thing whatsoever. But that's just where I'm at. I think Chase Brown and Ladd for Josh Jacobs is too much. Both of them like no future. I do think Josh Jacobs' upside is a lot higher than both of those. I would maybe see if you can throw in a different wide receiver than Ladd, because it does feel like the Chargers are going to be throwing the football a lot, and Ladd is going to be a target for Justin Herbert. Jonathan starting Daniel Jones over Dak this week. Hold on. You're asking me that question. Let me just check one thing. Because who do the Cowboys play? I think I remember who they play. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. It's not a great matchup for either of them. I think this Rams team is going to be one of the better defenses that the Colts have played early this season. Whereas the Cowboys are going to be going up against the Packers team. I mean, both of them kind of got embarrassed. But the Packers have the firepower, it seems, to really go into Jerry World and put belt to ass. So, yeah, I think I would be looking at Daniel Jones in that matchup. I just think at the end of the day, he'll get more points. Plus, Dak without CD this week, who's going to be his number one? Is it really going to be Pickett? Trade Etienne and Nico for BTJ and Kamara. Bro, why are you trying to get rid of Etienne? Why are you trying to get rid of Collins? And don't get me wrong, I think Kamara is going to be... Jonathan, thank you for the follow. I get the frustrations with Nico and maybe Etienne, but I think their upside right now is much more than... Yeah, I just like their upside a little bit more right now. Alrighty, Jonathan, speaking of Pickens, just traded him for Amari Hampton. W or an L? Bro, that's a fat dub. Fat dub, especially with Najee Harris breaking that Achilles wide open. Amari Hampton's going to be getting a lot. And again, I have no faith in what the Dallas Cowboys are bringing to the table right now. None. They just got belt to ass by the Bears. The Chicago Bears. They make people believe in Caleb Williams and the Bears team all of a sudden. What world are we living in? This isn't a world I want to live in, where all of a sudden we believe the Bears are doing good. No, because they're not. They're not. And I hope, but I don't know, man. Ali Amor for Marvin Harrison. Yeah, bro, get Marvin Harrison off your bench. But then again, I'm done with him. I'm not even a full 2 seasons in as a fan of the Cardinals. I'm not even a full 2 seasons in with Marvin Harrison. I've been suffering with Kyler Murray for the last 6-7 years, and now we got another bust in the draft. Like freaking A. So, ugh. McConkey and Benson for Metcalf and Pollard. If you can get, I mean, I would approve McConkey for Metcalf straight up. I think Benson is going to get a lot more meaningful touches than Pollard and is actually going to produce behind that Cardinals O-line right now. You know my thoughts on Chase Brown? Give me 1 sec. And I'll give you my thoughts on Chase Brown. Let me just check one thing. That's what I was thinking. I mean, listen. 47 carries this season for 93 yards, 1 touchdown in 3 games. That is not a good stat line. Now, and I don't think it's going to get better. I'd probably get rid of Chase Brown, or I wouldn't be looking at him at waivers. And it kind of makes sense that the Bengals would want to move to a more run game based system, especially considering that they don't really have a quarterback right now to throw to T or to Jamar, but they don't have an O-line to support it. That's why Joe Burrow's not playing, because they don't have a good O-line to do this shit. And so, man, that's just where I'm at. That's just where I'm at with Chase Brown. Brees Hall and DeMont for Josh Jacobs. Yes. I would do that trade. I listen, Josh Jacobs, the Packers didn't have a good game. Okay. Get it. Noted. I got it. Don't think it matters in the long run. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be good. I think this Packers team is good. I think that O-line is good. I think these teams are good. Pittman or McLaurin? Ooh. That is a hard one. I'd probably go Pittman right now with the way Daniel Jones has been playing. All right, where are we at now? Trade Gibbs for Jamar and Genty. No, I wouldn't do that. The Raiders have come out and said they're going to load manage Genty this season, essentially. They're going to let him sit until they can get a solid O-line that he can run behind, which is fine. Like, they're still going to get him touches and everything. They're just not going to try to let him take a lot of hits this year as a solid back, which is beyond disappointing, but what you going to do, brother? Coleman Benson or BTJ for the flex? Shit. I mean, I don't hate Benson this week. I think Seattle, if the Cardinals play it right, I think Seattle's going to have a hard time with the run game. But that's also me being hopeful. Colby, I already said, take Josh Jacobs. I love Josh Jacobs. Think he has a good upside. Lad McConkey, Ibuka, Devontae, Odunze. You want me to pick one? Ibuka. He's been an absolute dog. Thoughts on ETN? Where is it? There it is. I mean, listen, 16 attempts, 56 yards. You don't like to see that. I think ETN, the Jaguars are in a very interesting place right now because, in my opinion, the Jaguars are where they needed to be 2 years ago. And now they're here instead, a contract later with Trevor Lawrence. And, I think ETN is still going to continue to be the workhorse back, the first down back, like the back that they look to. Aiden, thank you for the follow. But at the same time, I don't know if that offensive line will allow him to get a lot of points. And don't get me, I think this team is looking a lot better. I like the way this offense is being schemed up more. I just don't know if I can sit here and co-sign continuing to start ETN if that O-line isn't going to be able to make pockets. And I mean, step one, let the quarterback have a pocket, fine. Step two, get some holes moving so those wide receivers can get some action going. So that's where I'm at with that. All right, Dylan, start two, BTJ, Debo, and Olave. Ooh, hold the phone, dog. Let me actually take a look at this one. Seahawks, Cardinals. I'm sorry, who are we doing this again? BTJ, Debo, and Olave. Let me just see who people are playing. Oh, go ahead and start Debo against this Falcons defense. And then you're between who else? BTJ and Olave. Who are the Saints playing? Are the Saints going to get another belt to ass treatment? Oh, by the way, fuck whoever made the Monday Night Football schedule for next week. That's just rude and inconsiderate of our time. But I will be live, so don't miss that. Am I just missing the Saints? Am I just blind? Oh, they're playing the Bills. Yeah, do not play Chris Olave. Yeah, I'd go BTJ and Debo there, bub. Nelly, 79th. Travis Hunter, droppable. Yeah, you shouldn't have drafted him. You shouldn't have drafted him. And I mean, we were saying this when he did get drafted. I hoped he would have just played one position. I really wish that they would just let him play one position because, you know, in college, he was fine as a wide receiver. He was fine as a cornerback, but he wasn't spectacular at either position. And yes, he won the Heisman. I get it, but I think we all agree that it shouldn't have gone to him. But I think that, I think Travis Hunter should not be on your fantasy roster, to be completely honest. Carter in the chat, who wins this trade? J.K. Dobbins, Olave, and Jamar. Other side is Amon-Ra, Bill, and Ridley. To be completely honest, I think it's a fairly fair trade. Because Carter, if you just here's where I'm at. You know, J.K. Dobbins, he's playing fine, not someone I'm really writing home about. And same thing with Calvin Ridley. And then Olave, a guy who can turn it on when Spencer Rattler, because he's been Spencer Rattler's target. That's solid. And Jamar has kind of been, you know, nothing. Actually, I take this all back. Amon-Ra, whoever is taking Amon-Ra and Bill is winning that one. Because, yeah, you got to take on Calvin Ridley, but you're getting Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Bill. Jacory Krosky-Merritt. All right. Love me, Bill. Love me some Bill. Sell Jamar. Yeah, I would sell Jamar. Trade Jamar for DK, Ladd, and Mason. That's a huge dub, bro. So I'm assuming you're talking Jordan Mason. I like the production I'm seeing out of him. DK Metcalf is, you know, I think he's Aaron Rodgers' safety blanket on the wide receiver side, so he's going to continue to get a lot of looks. And the Chargers all of a sudden decided to be a throwing defense. Throwing offense and not a run first offense. So that's awesome. What else are we looking at? This is a bad trade. Brees Hall, London, and Kyron for A.J. Brown and Henry. Not a bad trade if you're the one receiving Brown and Henry. Again, the way I've been seeing the Eagles play and from what I've been seeing the Eagles do, they're not looking to throw the ball a lot. So I know, I have a lot of respect for A.J. Brown and what he's able to do as a receiver, but I'm also not going to sit here and lie to you and say he's going to get 5 balls a game and 3 touchdowns or a touchdown. Trade Nico for Bucky, have Puka, Egbuka, and T-Mac as well. Yeah, go get Bucky Irving. Bro's a dog. Drop Chubb or JCM? I'd probably drop Chubb. But that's just me. I've not been not anti-Nick Chubb, just haven't been big on Nick Chubb. Trade London for James Cook. Yeah, dude. If you can get James Cook for Drake London, yeah, get it. Do that trade. Do that trade now. I want you in the chat to let me know that you've accepted that trade. Because that's hype. Gentry or Trey Benson? Give me Trey Benson. Raiders coaches have said they're not really going to play him. So, Max, thank you for the follow, brother. All right, just a couple more minutes, and then I got to get rolling. Myers or MPJ in the flex? I'd probably go with Myers. I like what he's been doing this season. Trade Chase and Judkins for Nico and Warren. Ooh, I don't hate that. I think Tyler Warren is slowly one of the best tight ends in the league, and is going to continue to be on that. I think Daniel Jones is going to continue to use him a lot. Person offered me Chase Brown and Henderson for Kamara. I mean, you're getting it for Chase Brown. I think it's a risk. I like the upside of Chase Brown and Trayvon Henderson, but I think you're going to get a lot more out of Kamara until the wheels run off. And that is my only concern with Alvin Kamara, is that those wheels are going to run off on him relatively early this season. Benson or Judkins rest of the season? Benson's going to be taking all of the snaps at running back, unless they start using Greg Dortch back there. So I'd probably be looking at Benson. Oh, Jaylen Warren in the trade. No, get rid of Jaylen Warren. Should I try to trade Ladd? If you don't feel like Ladd's, contributing positively to your team, yeah. You try to go out there and maybe fill another spot. Or if he's just sitting on your bench. I would target Pittman. And it just goes to, who right now would you rather have throwing you a football? Because right now I got Danny Dimes throwing me a football. I'll be honest. Guy with just an emoji with glasses or a bug. Thank you for the follow. Bench one, Olave, London, or Wilson. I can't bench them all. You sure about that? Yeah, sure about that. I'd probably sit Wilson. Olave. And he'll probably get a lot of looks this season, this week. And that because that Bills defense ain't everything that it's cracked up to be or everything that everyone wants it to be, but still very solid. Dylan, thank you for the follow, brother. All right, well, that is all the time I have today, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in, taking some time out of your day to come and chat, talk some football. We'll be live tomorrow. We will have a full breakdown of college football and NFL picks along with a Ryder Cup preview because we got the Ryder Cup coming this Friday, so you're not going to want to miss that. That will be over exclusively on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Check those links if you're over on TikTok and give that a watch tomorrow. But we'll be live again here on TikTok Friday for Happy Hour Sports Talk, covering the big news stories of the day and taking your fantasy football questions. And then Sunday morning as well for my final sit and start of the week. But hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone here on Rumble, over on YouTube, X, and TikTok. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. With all that being said, I've been the Brofict One, AJ. Have an incredible rest of your night. Good luck. God bless. I'll see you guys next time on Degenerate Takes.